We have a great interview in store for you today. We got our friend Anthony Savage, who has lost 154 pounds in 13 months. He did this by a unique approach, and man, it's a great story. I found him on Facebook or TikTok first, and then just was intrigued by his story. And I was just like, man, I gotta talk to this guy. He graciously accepted an interview. So friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give to you the amazing interview with Anthony Savage here on the 600 Pounds Down podcast.
This teenager once weighed an astounding 800 pounds. You heard right. The 19-year-old from Bradford, Pennsylvania lost an incredible 470 pounds.
When I gave my heart to Jesus and surrendered over, there was a peace. From 799 pounds to 600 pounds down, this isn't just weight loss. This is a podcast to rebuilding your spirit, your mind, and your life. Welcome to the 600 Pounds Down podcast with me, Coach Justin. Welcome everybody to the 600 Pound Down podcast. I'm Coach Justin. I love when we get guests on this show because it really opens up a whole new world of motivation and inspiration for people. I found this guy and he's magnificent. His story's amazing. We're looking at the Macho Man, Anthony Savage. He's really not the Macho Man, but I refer to him as that just because it makes me laugh, but also the dude is amazing. He has such a great story. He has been on a journey for a while. Now, when I go on social media, I'm looking for people who have this like-mindedness of spreading the message of hope when it comes to losing weight and becoming healthier. And this guy popped up on my feed, and I was like, man, I think Anthony, it started out with TikTok, and then it went to Facebook, and then I just been following you. I reached out to you, and I said, my man, I have to have you on my show because your story is amazing. I want to welcome you, Anthony, to the 600 Pound Down podcast.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much, Coach Justin, for the opportunity to share part of my story. I really look forward to chatting with you tonight and just getting to know you better.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it too. And you know, him and I were talking earlier today, and it was great conversation. I mean, this is real life stuff. And as you were talking to me, I was kind of reliving some of the things that I was going through in my life that you pretty much are going through as well. And I was like, man, like, people go through some stuff and we can identify with them and we can feel with them, right? And have empathy. And I could just see myself in your journey. And that's what I see with a lot of people who have such a fantastic weight loss story. It's like, man, these aren't easy journeys to have. I think people think they're this switch and this click and a snap of a finger. And it's like, man, this is amazing. And it's so easy. It's not. And you'd probably agree with that, right?
100%. It is not easy. And I look to your story and I see this unbelievable story of hope and inspiration. And I cannot wait until my next struggle is how am I going to pay for skin removal surgery? I look forward to those milestones, and I see your story, and I see so many other people in this I'm going to call it a movement of health that are at different points in the journey, and just the encouragement that they're giving to so many people around the world is unbelievable. And I'm so thankful for the small part I get to play in that and helping to encourage and inspire people.
So good. I root for these people, man. Like, especially the authentic people who are out there just trying to do this, right? There's so many fakes out there. There are so many people who think they're gurus because they lost 5 pounds. And I don't fault 5-pound losses, by the way, but I'm saying these people who, they just haven't been in the shoes of somebody who's been really morbidly obese, right? And you're feeling that. I felt that. So I thank you. I thank you for sharing that. And I'll tell you what, like we talked this morning or this afternoon, man, that skin reduction surgery is going to be coming, and I'm going to be representing you, and I want my audience to get behind that. Like, that's not cheap stuff, but people who put in the work deserve that blessing to have that taken care of. And I think that will be part of your story as well, how God provided for you to help you with that skin reduction, the fee that comes with that, right? It's not cheap.
Yeah. Amen to that. I stand in agreement with that.
Yeah,
I trust God will provide.
Well, I want to get rolling into you and to your story today. You know, There's so much I could ask you to start off with, but I want to tackle this where, take us back to the beginning. Now, June 9th, 2025, you started a carnivore approach that helped you, that catapulted you into a healthier lifestyle. But before that, tell me what your life was like and what did you balloon up to in your weight because of your lifestyle choices?
Sure. I'll go all the way back to the beginning.
Hey.
My genesis story, the origin story. I've been overweight my entire life. I think the only point in time that I was at a low weight was probably when I was born, and I was born almost 2 months premature, and that brought many issues. I unknowingly struggled with hormone and metabolic issues due to pituitary tumor that I didn't discover until later in life. But I, as a kid, I had struggled with weight. I'd always been the biggest kid in the class. I graduated high school over 600 pounds. I'm 35 now. My life has always been around me being a big guy. I don't know. I've never known what it was like to be at a healthy, normal weight. I've tried probably every diet in the books. I don't quote me on that because I'm sure there's some diets I haven't heard of. But I've tried just about everything. I've had some small successes with just a keto diet, and then I would plateau, and then I would just continually climb back up again. But my highest weight that I'm aware of.
Are you tired of not knowing how to lose fat for life? Are you tired of being addicted to food? When was the last time you actually looked in the mirror and said, I like what I see? Listen, my name is Coach Justin, and I've lost 600 pounds. I use the methods that I've learned over the course of the past 16 plus years to help people shed fat and gain life. This is your opportunity to change your life forever. You'll want to sign up for 600 pounds down coaching, and you can email me at onestepnation@gmail.com. That's onestepnation@gmail.com. Email me and say I'm in, and we'll connect and have a discovery call to change your life. Now go get it and don't waste any more time.
Was last January at 668 pounds. I had lost some weight doing keto and intermittent fasting between then and June when I started this.
Can you pause there a second? What was your top weight?
668 pounds.
668.
Yes.
I want to pause here just for a second because that's like Discovery Channel weight, right? I mean, I was almost 800 and that was crazy, but I want people to realize 668, that's a stone's throw away from becoming larger, and how you were trajecting in that direction. I'm sure it would have come sooner rather than later if you didn't get your life on track. So I wanted to paint that picture, the seriousness of that.
Absolutely. And I had last year, I had worked out 2, sometimes 3 days a week. I was going to Planet Fitness with my wife, and I was trying the keto diet. We did that until our wedding anniversary trip last year in May. We went to Hawaii, fell off the wagon, got back, realized that we needed to really make a change. So our friend Damien, he invited us over for a cookout for his birthday, and it was an awesome celebration. He had a lot of friends over, and he's like, tomorrow I'm starting a 90-day carnivore diet challenge. And he asked my wife and I to do it with him. And I was like, not thrilled with the idea, but I thought, hey, I can do anything for 90 days. I just was doing keto for 5 months until I went to Hawaii. And so we did it. And the plan was to do carnivore for 90 days and work out every day for 90 days, which I thought, there's no way I can do that. I hurt so bad all the time. I got severely injured in 2022. I had to learn to walk normal again after a traumatic fall. Just hurt all the time. And the 2 or 3 days a week killed me. And I felt like I couldn't get out of bed hardly the next day after going to the gym. So lo and behold, the carnivore diet and the blessing of electrolytes um, really took so much inflammation and pain out of my body that I actually was able to exercise every day for that 90 days. And I just started feeling so good, to the point where now it's, over a year later. I mean, we're in July of 2026, and I have been on the carnivore diet the whole time. And I feel like it really put me in a good position. And I'm never going to say that one diet is going to be the right size,
That's
right
good.
fit for everybody. There are many ways to achieve goals, but for me, this appears to be the best way that I've encountered so far. And when I feel so good like this, I don't want to change.
No, that's good. So 13 months, 13
Yeah.
months strong, doing a
hmm
carnivore approach. And how much weight have you lost in that 13 months?
From June 9th to now, I've lost 154 pounds.
54 pounds. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. So that's incredible. That's not an easy task. Now, shout out to Damien for giving you that challenge, number
Yeah.
one. And then your beautiful wife, Ariana, like she is helping with you and she's doing this with you and you have a fantastic support group with you, right?
I do. I do. I have a lot of friends that love to work out with me. I'll go on hikes and walks with my buddy Chris. I'll go to the gym sometimes on Sundays. We call it Savage Sunday with my buddy Troy. And I have other friends that work out with me periodically, but my wife definitely number one. I did for my 1 year anniversary on this. I did a 5K with friends at a local metro park and invited a group of friends out, and we did that together. It was awesome, and I'm just really
Great.
thankful for all the people that are rallying locally around me and everybody around the
Yeah.
world.
That's cool, man. Man, you have, I mean, having a support group and people to cheer you on is fantastic. I remember in the small town of Bradford, Pennsylvania, where I'm originally from, man, my story went pretty viral around there. I was in a newspaper all the time, just like people were watching me. And I remember going into McDonald's one day, and then I walked in there and somebody goes, "What are you doing here?" Like, I was just using the bathroom, by the way. But it's funny to have that accountability and that's the message I'm portraying to people, right? I'm like, I'm getting my life right. I'm doing this right. And so to have that community aspect around you, that community involvement around you, and that just people being supportive is so essential to have that.
Yeah. And I'm super proud of my wife. I mean, I never have once in my entire life with her ever told her she needed to lose weight, but she lost 70 pounds doing this journey with me.
And she started
And
the same day you started.
she started the same day I
Yeah.
started, and she does occasionally. She'll go through spurts where she does like a ketovore diet, where she'll add in avocado and some berries, things like that. I haven't done that myself, but we do use herbs and spices and seasonings and hot sauce, and so I guess a dirty carnivore
Dirty
approach.
carnivore, yeah.
Yeah, we're not doing like the lion diet, although I did a challenge for the first 90 days of this year doing the lion diet, but I went back to the dirty carnivore way of
Yeah.
eating after
I
that.
mean, let's talk about that a minute because and I like what you said. There are no one size fits all diet plans out there, right? So I know in my program I offer people a method of whole natural foods, but I'm also very wise on what I entail, what I ask of them or what I suggest to them, simply because we know foods can be inflammatory, as you just were making us aware of. We understand that food could create some after effect of more cravings depending on the food and the person. And what we want to do is we want to figure out what's going to work best for the individual. And I've attempted, just like you, I have attempted so many diet plans out there: the keto approach, keto carnivore. I've done carnivore, straight carnivore, dirty carnivore. I've done, I mean, I can name probably 30 different dietary approaches that I've tried in the past. And the truth is, man, they all work for a season, but the hardest part is the sustainability for many of them. Now, I wanna hit on the carnivore approach with you, not to attack it, but simply just ask, how is it working for you, and why would you? I know you said you lost 154 pounds, which is great, so it's working for you in the weight loss category. And inflammation, you said it went kind of, you went down on inflammation, you feel like you have less pain and things. But how do you think it's serving you in other ways? Is it killing the cravings? Is it you feel satisfied and full? Do you feel deprived? Like, tell me more about that.
I haven't felt deprived a single day since I've been doing this. I guess the first few days, you kind of go through that keto flu, as I believe what most people call it, where your electrolytes are kind of going out of whack. But I, knew that from doing keto before, and it wasn't so bad because I was supplementing with electrolytes the whole time. And when it comes to like craving something sweet, except for the period of time I did the Lion Diet Challenge. I use like allulose or stevia for sweetener. I put that in my coffee or tea, and we have made carnivore recipes that we found from carnivore creators online for making healthy desserts. And we don't do that a lot. I mean, I probably less than 6 times in a year we've made dessert, but and I don't really crave it per se. Um, I've gone to a lot of family gatherings. My wife is one of 8 kids. The family gatherings are huge, and there's a lot of food there that I can't eat, and that's okay. We either fast during those times or we bring our own food. And
Let's talk about that,
yeah,
because so many people, I've noticed this, and I used to do this when
mhm,
when I was starting a program, or I was on a particular dietary approach or whatever. I would go to these picnics and I would be like, man, I can't eat that. Oh man, I guess I'll just eat it and I'll start again tomorrow. Or I would just get pouty about it or in a bad mood, just because. And here's the thing, that was food addiction issue. It wasn't necessarily the diet. It was my problem in my mind. So, did you ever have moments when you went to these picnics where you're like, man, I stomping your foot for a minute and be like, man, I just
yeah,
wish I had this, crying or anything?
yeah. I mean, in the past, definitely. I mean, I've always felt motivated to try to lose weight. That's why I've said I've tried so many different things. I still was going to the gym, just not as much. Um, but I would allow holidays and family gatherings to derail me. And I used to have the mindset, well, it's okay. I'll start again on Monday. And I realized that motivation is never going to get me anywhere. I needed to build discipline. And it took until last year when I learned how good I could feel with diet and exercise that I feel like my brain met with my mind, met with my soul and spirit, and decided that I needed to develop a pattern of discipline. And now my discipline eats my motivation for breakfast.
I love
Um,
that.
it really does.
I love that.
I mean, I'm getting
You,
over pneumonia right now, and the stir craziness of not being able to, exercise like I was has been driving me crazy. And I'm, getting back out there and walking again. And yesterday I kind of hit the wall a little bit because I overdid it the day before. But I'm still, training, and I'm still healing, and I cannot wait to get back out and do another 5K and swim a mile and play more pickleball.
pneumonia knocked you down, and you were telling me you went how many days straight without skipping a workout before you had this?
Every day since June 9th of last year. So it's been 2.5 weeks since I got the pneumonia. And by the way, this is the fastest I've ever recovered from a respiratory problem.
Hey, that's important to pick out.
Yeah, I have asthma. I mean, it's one of the things that I was born premature. I have all these little things wrong with me, but I don't let that hold me back. Um, I so I have asthma, and that always makes respiratory illness so much worse. Feels like I'm sometimes breathing out of a coffee straw. Um, but in 2020, I ended up getting pneumonia during the pandemic, and it was due to COVID-19. And I was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. I almost died, and the COVID pneumonia was just awful. And I went home from the hospital. Praise God, I was able to come home, and I was on oxygen at home for 3 months from the pneumonia, and I was in way worse shape then
Man,
at that point, and I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to do anything again. I
yeah,
just was so devastated by it, and now I'm overcoming it in less than 3 weeks. So I'll take that as a huge win.
that's a huge
And
win.
I, I've yeah I've made 2026 the year of cardio for me. I don't run a lot. I know that there are some inherent dangers to being obese and running. I recognize that. I've talked to my doctors, but they're comfortable with me doing short sprints. So I break up some sprints into my walks or into my hikes if the trails are relatively easy to moderate. So I'm not going to roll my ankles or something.
Yeah.
And I will run up some stairs. And I know there's folks on the internet who think that that's bad, and that's okay. I am doing it in moderation, and it's not the norm. But I have improved my respiratory function so much and in my cardiovascular health so much in the last year by starting this type of training that I feel like the risk and reward the reward's way better.
I hear that. I hear that. There's a lot of stuff we could take away what you just said. Primarily, what I want to hit on first would be your recovery and how obesity is a killer in multiple ways, and we recognize that, right? It makes us unhealthy by a variety of issues that arise from it: inflammation, high blood pressure, cardiac issues, pulmonary issues. You can name it. Higher risk of cancer. Obesity is. What was that?
Every comorbidity basically
Yes.
is enhanced by obesity. Yeah.
More prone to injury. All the things. Everything. And the truth is, you survived COVID pneumonia by the grace of God. And some obese people who are really high in weight at that point. Were you 600 and some pounds at that point?
I can't quite remember if I was before I went into the hospital, but I was after I got out.
Okay. But you were like 500 plus at that point.
Yeah. The steroid definitely boosted my weight.
So still very unhealthy and could have died, and all because, now fast forward, yes, you still have some weight to lose, but you are 154 pounds lighter, and you recovered a lot quicker from pneumonia. Now, you didn't have COVID pneumonia, but you still had pneumonia, which would take you down. But how long do you say it took you to recover from that?
From COVID pneumonia?
No, from the pneumonia currently past one. Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks and 4 days so far.
Okay.
Since I got diagnosed, yeah.
And you're out walking and doing your stuff and being stubborn and doesn't want to rest, but I hear you.
I rested for 2 weeks. I rested hardcore for 2 weeks, and I probably would have gone mad if it wasn't for the World Cup. I've been able to watch a lot of World Cup soccer, and
good for you.
So I enjoy watching sports. So it's a guilty pleasure.
That's great. No, that's great. I love it. That's awesome. And now looking at the future, you're in a spot now where things are working really well for you. You're down 154 pounds. I wanna pick apart a few questions for you, if that's okay. Okay. So tell me your journey of the past year when you're applying the carnivore approach. Were there moments where you felt like this is not something I can continue doing? Did you have moments in your mind where you felt overwhelmed or as if you just wanted to quit? Because I'm not just talking about the diet per se. I'm talking about the whole journey in general, right? Looking at that, I shouldn't just say the diet, but everything you've been doing, the exercising. Did you have mornings? Because we have listeners who listen to this and they're like, man, I just want to get that motivation, right? Do you have mornings or days where you just wanted to say, screw it, I'm throwing in the towel today and I'm done?
There are moments where it becomes a battle of the mind. You feel like you can sometimes feel a sense of defeat. Like every time I've traveled on this journey, I did all the right things. I ate right. I worked out. I didn't let a day, even if I was flying somewhere, driving somewhere, I didn't let a day go by without exercise. And I would get home from that trip and I would have 5 to 15 pounds of weight gain during that week. And then it would all whoosh away within 3 days, but it would make you feel kind of defeated because you did everything the right way. And I just struggle with water retention every time I travel. Just a lot of people in my situation do.
Me too.
but I really just suffer from that a lot, and that kind of makes you feel defeated. But I never I never lost the desire to want to lose weight, and I never lost the desire to change how I've been eating because I feel so much better.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, even when we've traveled, like we bought a mobile refrigerator that we can plug into our minivan, and we do some road trips. Like we did a national park hiking trip a couple months ago, and like we would pack our food, we'd buy groceries along the road in whatever state we were in, refill our thing. We brought with us an electric skillet, and we would just make our meals, or we'd eat, you know, cold cuts and
Yep.
cheese, make little roll ups or something, just so that we didn't deviate from our way of eating because we just feel so good. But there are days where I had that defeated feeling, but it's a battle in the mind, and you just
Okay.
have to tell yourself, hey, weight loss and health is not linear, and that's kind of been like a mantra that I've been adopting, because your health isn't, you can take a step back due to illness, and you can then quickly move forward 3 steps. So you just got to realize that everything isn't going to go according to plan.
Yeah.
You have to plan for that.
You're absolutely right. No, that's really good. There are going to be moments where you're going to want that cookie. You're going to want those whatever. You want the baked
Yeah.
potato or the mashed potatoes, you're going to want the stuffing, Thanksgiving comes around, you're going to want the treats. But we have to have that wherewithal within ourselves, and that ability to have that self-control that honestly the
Mm,
Holy Spirit gives people. If we really
amen.
trust in the Lord, we can go to him and we can say, Lord, I am struggling with this and I just want to surrender this to you. And it's not like it's a sin to have a cookie. That's not what we're saying. But if you know in your heart that that's going to cause you to stumble over and over and over and over and over again, it's not the right time for you, you have to rely on something bigger than you. Tell me a time where you had to go to the Lord when you were just struggling with something.
I mean, I've gone to the Lord every day, because I not for a second do I believe that I can do this on my own. And he sustains my discipline. He sustains my endurance. He sustains everything in my life. And during this illness, I mean, it was pretty scary. I was in and out of the hospital the first week of the pneumonia, and going to see different doctors, and then like the following week going to see the pulmonologist. They said it's an emergency, we need to get you back in here. They thought that my oxygen was going too low, and I was like, great, I'm gonna get admitted and have to be on oxygen again. And I ended up improving, thankfully. Didn't need to do that. But I mean, I go to the Lord and all that, because I mean, I praise him in the storms, and I praise him in the good weather, I mean, I and he's faithful to bring me through it. The Philippians 4:13 says, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." And sometimes I feel like that might get just taken out of context a little bit. I think I think that means that, if I go buy a lottery ticket, I can win this lottery, because like some
Right.
people go that extreme to take that out of
All
context.
this pizza
But
in
if
a
but
name.
if you read the scripture before that, before it gets to that, it's more like that he's going to give you everything you need to get through the tough times, the good times, and every time in between. That's what I think that's talking about. The Lord is going to get us through every season of life if we trust in Him, and what that looks like is going to be different for everybody. But I truly feel blessed. I have so many things, to look forward to in life. I have so many things. I could choose to be a victor, or I could choose to be a victim. Looking at my life, and I choose to be a victor, because greater is He that is in me than He's in the world. And I trust in the Lord Jesus, and despite everything I've gone through in life, He's brought me to this point, and I know He's going to keep bringing me to every checkpoint, milestone in my life ahead.
I love that, man. So you're going by faith. That's the thing. Like this whole thing can get very overwhelming. It's not an easy task to do by yourself. There's people who do it by themselves, and really there's never going to be fulfillment. And I noticed that myself. When I lost my weight of like 600 pounds, there comes this point in your life where it's like, okay, I've accomplished that goal and I'm living. But you can forget about that journey over time as time goes on, and sometimes just loses its luster, and it's okay, I lost weight. But the other element to my transformation was my faith became a reality through my transformation. And the one thing that never changed was the Lord. Like, Jesus was the same yesterday, today, and forever. He never changed. And he was my foundation and my stability when I wanted to give up, when I didn't want to talk to people about my weight loss story anymore, when I, whatever, you name it. But he was that never changing one that I could always go back and count on and say, you're still here. Even when I want to go act like a pig and eat a bunch of food, you're still here. When I ignore you, you're still here. Like, I just, faith becomes a reality when you put yourself aside and you can say, okay, I've accomplished this, but I wouldn't have accomplished this without Jesus, without his help in this whole process. And that becomes more of a reality to me. I don't know if you ever see your life, and I'm sure you do, but I wanted to point it out for our listeners and our viewers. When you look at your life today and you're moving your body, you're losing weight, you're eating healthier, do you see that as an act of worship to the Lord? Do you see that as like a,
I do.
I'm giving myself the best I can. I'm giving myself over to him. I'm surrendering me. I'm putting my wants and desires on like the back burner. And I'm going to say, this is for you, God. Have you been there?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like my entire journey, it's dedicated and consecrated to the Lord. Like I want to point people to Jesus. I want to encourage and inspire people, not just for their physical health, but for their spiritual well-being too. And that's a huge part of why I am like publicly documenting this journey.
Love that.
It's not, I mean, I'm not doing this just for me, but the benefit of it holding me accountable is incredible. I'm not going to undersell that at all. But more than anything, it's not about me. It's about helping other people and pointing them to Jesus and pointing them to better health.
I like that. I want to say too, and let's segue into the next chapter of what I want to talk about with you today, is you are an open book online. That's how I found you on social media. I looked at you and I saw you running, and I was motivated, man. And I was brought back to what I was doing. You were doing the same thing I was doing back then. Here's the problem. There's really not a problem, but we can make it one. When we put ourselves out there, criticism comes with it, right? People come in and they slide into your DMs and say, hey, fatty, or they'll say, hey, I got a product for you, or they'll say, hey, and they'll try to talk you into some other things or discourage you or whatever. Like you're a billboard. You are out there. You have 70-some thousand followers on Facebook, and you have a bunch of followers.
Yeah.
And they're watching you, and they're observing, they're liking, they're commenting, they're engaging. I want to say all that because I want my audience to know that we're talking to somebody who really has their life out there in front of lots of people. This isn't just some like, hey, you got 100 people watching you. No, you have thousands. And with that comes a responsibility. With that comes criticism. With that comes a lot. So I say all that to preface the question, how does it feel to be in front of people spreading your story? And are there moments where you're just like, I'm getting tired of this? Or have you felt that there was, I'm asking a bunch of questions in one, you can just answer what you want, but have you received criticism? Have you received encouragement? Tell me about your public view. What are they saying?
Well, I would say greater than 99% of all of the comments I receive and all the reactions, the likes, the hearts, that kind of thing, 99+% of that is all positive. And it's opened a lot of doors for me to talk to people about their health, to encourage them to get help if they need help, to talk to people about faith. So I'm really thankful that I have been making this content for the last 13 months, and I'm thankful for the doors that God is opening to share my story with more people. I mean, it would all be worth it if I could just help one person. If I had 1,000 people every day beating down my door, hating me and saying horrible things, if I could help one person change their life, it'd be totally worth it for me. But the hateful comments, they're the more my pages are growing across social media, the more I get that. There's some notorious folks that are going after pretty much everybody in the weight loss space online I honestly I find it funny. I don't let it steer me in a negative mindset at all. I just find it funny that folks have that much time on their hands to hate on other people. I pray for them. I put in the comments that I tell them on their hateful comments a lot of the time. I post that I'm praying for you, and I do. I pray for my haters every day because I want them to have a relationship with Jesus. I want them to be blessed richly so that they feel called and compelled to help other people in their life. They're clearly going through some type of trauma or hurt or have in the past, and it left a scar on them, and they feel like they need to say hateful, hurtful things to someone else to get some type of satisfaction. But I'm gonna let you know right now, it's not gonna work on me. You can be as hateful as you want to on the internet, and I'm just gonna pray for you. And who knows, I might screenshot your comment and talk about it in a video because I want to stand up to bullies on the internet and let people know that are in their own journey, whether it's health or overcoming addiction or whatever it is in their life. I want them to know that it doesn't matter how many people are hateful towards you because there's always going to be that person cheering for you, and I'm always going to be cheering for you, no matter what you're overcoming in your life. And I'm never gonna let someone's negativity win because my God is bigger than those words.
Preach it, man. That's so good. I love that. No, it comes with the territory of the world, right? We're in a season in our existence where we have the internet, we have reels, we have all this stuff at our disposal at our hands, right? And it's unfortunate because with that comes reality of the sin nature in people. It comes the selfishness in people, and I see it more frequently than ever, but probably because we are so exposed to it now more than we ever have been. People can share their minds on the internet and say whatever they want to say without any repercussions most of the time. And we have that happen. And I've seen the same thing. I mean, back in the day, I've had people make fun of me in person more than anything. And today I've had a few, I mean, with criticism and stuff like that. But I was starting to run. I was going to share the story earlier. When I saw you running, I remember running too. And I remember when I first started, I had some excess skin, and I had, they called them the man boobs, right? And I had those going on, and things are moving when you're running. It's just the way it is. As you have some weight on your body, you have excess skin or whatever. Yeah, people would holler out the window, hey, they would say some derogatory terms towards me, and I'm not going to repeat online right here. It's like, man, I was trying to do something good for myself. I had people make fun of my chest at the gym when I was at a YMCA, and they'd call me some names there. And there were times where it was online. They were calling me names there. There were people, I walked into a store one time. One guy looked at me, he's an older man. He goes, he put the Lord's name in vain and said, you can lose a little weight there, buddy, don't you think? And like right at me. I went and got my mom because I was younger then. I'm like, Mom, go get him. She went and she's like, you have a lot of nerve, mister. I said that stuff just to say I don't get the reasoning for people to want to insult other people.
Yeah.
I just think there's definitely some issues within them that they're not happy about. There's jealousy involved, or there's the critical spirit involved. But I love your stance on praying for them and calling out the bullies. That's okay to do. Sometimes you just got to pass and let's say whatever. Other ones, yeah, there's a time and place to call out bad stuff and bullying, man. I agree with that. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Let's discuss your posting. You started posting your journey about over a year ago, you said, right?
Yep.
And you have like a day one video that you put out there?
I think on TikTok, it's honestly the way that I made content, I feel like I'm slowly getting better at making videos. Yeah. I can't even remember what I made for day one, but I probably did something. I'm trying to think. I mean, it's been 13
I'm just wondering,
ago.
like your whole story.
I've made over 1,000 videos now, so it's hard
1,000 videos.
It's hard to remember.
Your whole story is documented. That's the beautiful part. So if you guys are listening right now, definitely go listen, go check out. I'll attach the social tags to our description here in the episode. You can follow him and go check that out. And also on the reels, we'll have those available too. We'll make sure they're tagged. I wanna ask a question about that. The reason I ask was you had such a long-term following with your story. And I look at that and I'm like, you've come across a lot of people and you come across a lot of potential pressure. I'm asking, when you're in front of so many people, I don't think I've had issues in the past with this where people are watching you. You're being watched. Just like I was sharing earlier, walking to McDonald's, somebody's calling me out, right? Just to use the bathroom. Like, but people are watching. How does that make you feel? Do you feel like there's pressure? Because at times
I
what do you feel? What do you feel?
I've never been. I'm pretty extroverted. I've never been. I mean, I've always been the big guy, right? But I've never been the big guy that is kind of hiding away from the world. I've always been out in public. I volunteer a lot in the different communities I've been in. I've served on the board of some different nonprofits. I still do to this day. I'm very, very community involved. I was a youth pastor for 10 years, so
For
I was
you.
in front of people a lot. So it doesn't really bother me that my life is more in a fishbowl now. Um, check back with me if my following gets even bigger. I might change my opinion. I don't know,
Yeah.
but at this point, it doesn't really bother me. I If anything, it just gives me more opportunities to encourage, inspire, and pray with and for people.
That's really good. I think I think what can come with the territory is, say 2 years from now, you are, man, you're still doing carnivore, or you maybe went to keto carnivore, or you allowed some other things come back into your life, right? And there's going to be moments, and I noticed this for myself, where I started going to social gatherings or whatever, and there'd be moments where I had, hey, that cake looked good, I'm going to have a piece of cake. But with that, I became a little gun shy with it. I'm like, I don't want to eat this cake in front of people. It was this insecure feeling because I'm supposed to be the health guy. And it just sometimes can be difficult because who am I trying to please? I don't live for their approval, but I also want to be held accountable. And I'm just wondering if you ever had those moments where, which you haven't cheated for a while. So it's like
Yeah.
no,
And,
there's something to
and
compare it to.
I mean, I'll tell you, I got accidentally, I'll call it accidental food poisoning. We went to my wife and I are part of our young adult leadership team at our church, and we went to this like mom and pop style version of Chipotle, and there was a little bit of a language barrier with the folks that were working there, and I was asking if the meat was cooked, what the meat was cooked with, because I wanted to just get some like plain like grilled meats and some sour cream and cheese, and I asked if it was cooked in like canola oil, peanut oil, tallow, olive oil. What was it cooked in? And he said olive oil, and
Mhm.
I was like great, and I got my wife and I a bowl that had like chicken and beef and sour cream and cheese. We ate that. It tasted great. And then we got home and we felt like we had food poisoning and found out that it was cooked in seed oils. And we hadn't had seed oils at that point for like 8 months
Mhm.
and or something like that, 7 or 8 months. And the food poisoning feeling, I mean, I was sick for like almost a week. And I still exercise, but I just had really bad stomach issues,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say the least. And yeah, and I so I just never have. I don't have a desire to at any of these family gatherings eat things I shouldn't, and
Yeah.
just with how good I feel, I mean, once I get down to my goal weight or close to it, I may start incorporating like avocado and berries again. I already allow olive oil and avocado oil, as well as mostly beef tallow that I cook with, but or like a Irish butter. Um, but I probably won't want to go back to eating how I used to just because I know I probably will have more inflammation again. I mean, I have issues in my body from chronic injury or from chronic pain due to prior injuries in 2022. I mean, when I had to learn to walk normal again, and I had shoulder surgery on my left shoulder, my left rotator cuff, and I injured both my rotator cuffs, herniated 4 discs in my back. Like I've gone through a lot, nerve
Man.
damage, um, and I don't know. the Anthony that sits here in July of 2026 doesn't think he's going to. We'll see what the future holds, but
That's right. That's right. That's all right. No, good
yeah.
stuff. I appreciate you sharing that.
Mhm.
We are approaching our 45-minute mark here. I definitely want to ensure that we give enough time for our listeners, get a heads up that we're ending here pretty soon. But I have just kind of a couple closing questions, if you don't mind answering these. Contrast between the old Anthony and the new Anthony, the one that started over a year ago, 13 months ago, before he started, I should say. Think about where his head was at versus the Anthony we are today, 13 months later of your journey, and 154 pounds lighter and approaching food differently than he used to. Tell me what you believed about yourself back then, about your value, identity, who you were, versus what you believe about yourself today after you finally identified that change is possible for you and you're in a different place today. Tell me more about that.
Well, I would say that overall, who I was before starting this journey, I still feel like I was like positioned well in my faith. I still feel like I had a great relationship with the Lord. But I feel like in this area of my life, because I had struggled so much for so long and was trying to figure out like the underlying health issues that were contributing to it, and like going through all of that, I felt like I just couldn't give this one area of my life to the Lord. I just felt like this was just my thorn in my side, my cross to bear that I had to do on my own. And I just was fated to be in this situation. And I guess I just had that underlying sense of defeat for so many years that the weight of that didn't seem to be that significant compared to the weight I was carrying physically.
Mm.
And it's like, like kind of what the Apostle Paul went through when he had the scales in his eyes removed. It's like I see things a whole lot differently now. I see with renewed vision and renewed purpose, and I feel like I've gotten even closer to the Lord. I do intermittent fasting. I've done some short fasts. I did a 14-day fast. I feel like I've really taken that time to spend more time in prayer, more time in the Word, and I've allowed myself to no longer allow food to have the place in its life it once did. And in some ways, I feel like food may have been prioritized above God,
Right.
and I didn't even realize it. Like it wasn't something I was consciously doing. And now I feel like I have things in the right priority in my life. I feel like I firmly have God in first place, and then my wife and family, and my friends and church family, and my community, and then food. Like food is now a tool to health, the tool to
Yeah.
health versus something that I am allowing to have power and control and authority over me.
So good. I love that. Yeah, it has to be put in its proper place. It's like any addiction. It's like anything people struggle with, right? You oftentimes we bow to that instead of us bowing to the Lord, and that's not where we want to
Yeah,
be. I love that you said that, and your order is great. That's what's going to help you succeed and other people succeed for sure. We have to put things in their rightful places.
we have to get tired of bowing at the altar of our refrigerator.
You're right. That's really good. Yeah, get tired of bowing at the altar of our refrigerator, man. That is a very, very good statement to make, and one that will make people think. So think that through. Um, let's close on a question. What does the future look like for you? I know you might not know, but do you have goals? Do you have an ultimate goal? Do you have and it doesn't have to be weight related. I'm talking about in general. Like, what do you want to see? What's the next Anthony look like?
Well, I want to be a father. That's something that is important to me. My wife and I, we've always wanted to have children. We've been married. This past May was 9 years, and so thankful for every amazing year with that amazing
Mm.
woman. But we've been unable to have children, and that's due to male fertility issues that I have. A big part of that's my pituitary tumor, my pituitary gland not being fully functional, and just other related hormone issues. So we're looking into a miracle would be incredible, but also adoption and embryo adoption. So trying to figure out how we can make that a reality if that's the path God has for us. Um, but so that's one thing I'd like to see in the future as a goal, to be a dad. Also, I would love to be in a situation in the future where I can share my story with people around the world, and maybe go and do some talks, um, and try to encourage and inspire people face to face, not just on the internet. I'd like to spend more time in the mission field. I love going on mission trips. I went to Ecuador last October, and it was incredible. I mean, we helped in Amazon rainforest with an organization called Project Rescue that rescues and safeguards and helps young women and children escape human trafficking and sex slavery situations. So we got to work with them, and I would love to do more of that kind of thing. I'm all about service and giving back, and I would like to have more time to do that.
Good. That's awesome. A lot of opportunities, and the more healthier you get, the better opportunities will come with that, right? Like being a dad, especially, man, like being able to be there for the kids and to prepare for that, because boy, they run, they're active, and we want to be able to catch up with them, right? And that's
Yeah.
good. And being out there in a mission field, that's another one. I mean, you don't have to be in a good weight to be out there, but at the same time, it makes
It
life
helps.
easier.
Makes it easier, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
mean, it
really.
was hot. It was hot down there in Ecuador,
Yeah,
in the jungle.
yeah, it would
So
be,
yeah,
and
I know getting more of this weight off, it'll make those environments a little bit less
cool you
taxing.
down a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. Do you have a certain weight goal you want to get down to?
yeah. I would like to get down to somewhere between 260 and 280. So another 200 pounds to get down there. That would be my ideal goal, and then have skin removal surgery. I mean, I talked to my family doctor a year ago, and that's kind of the weight he had suspected I would need to have skin removal. Um, I'm not sure what weight you got down to before you had your first skin removal surgery, but
It was
uh,
about that weight, about
was about that
250,
weight.
260. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's probably similar for me. I'm 6 foot tall. How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
5'8". So
Yeah.
probably around the same. And yeah, I would like to get down to around that range and have that removal, and then see what I get down to after the skin is cut off.
Yeah, that's gonna be, dude. That surgery is it's depending where they do it. It's pretty painful, but it's so worth it. I mean, I had stomach, chest, I had a butt lift, I had legs, but you know what? I still lost more weight even after that, and some of that gets kind of saggy again. But I look at it this way: I've been through the war,
Mm.
and okay, I have a little
These are your battle
excess.
scars.
That's right. It is what it is, and people can judge all they want to, but I got to be okay with my identity in Christ first and
Mm.
foremost. I'm just gonna walk in the blessing anyway, and just accept it. This is where
Yeah.
I'm at.
Well,
Yep.
hey, I think you look great, brother. So
I appreciate it, man. Thank you
yeah,
for that.
yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
let's tell the audience where to find you. Tell everybody where you're active, like what socials, what tags. You have a website, email, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
tell us all about you.
If you want to email me, you can email me at anthonysavagebusiness@gmail.com. And you can find me on all social media platforms for the most part at Real Anthony Savage. And on Facebook, you can search my name, Anthony Savage, Real Anthony Savage, or Anthony Savage Weight Loss Journey, and you'll find me all three ways. But
Awesome.
I post every day. Um, I've been posting since June of 2025, so I'm not going to slow down or stop now. So
Love it.
I even was documenting all the stuff I went through with pneumonia. So
I saw that.
you're gonna get the whole story, the good, the bad, the ugly, and luckily every month I start looking a little bit better, so it'll be less ugly and more good.
Man, you are a handsome dude, bro. You got it going on. You got it going on. That's so good. All right. Well, I would love for my audience to connect with you. You know, if you're watching a reel right now and this is on there, if it's on YouTube or you're listening to it on Facebook or listening to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you definitely need to go check out Anthony. I will put his tags in the show notes. I'll put his email in the show notes. You guys can check him out. Anthony, before we close, what would you say to people who are starting out?
I would say find somebody in your life that can be a support system to you. Don't go it alone. You know, there's a principle from the Bible that one can chase 1,000, but two can send 10,000 to flight. And if you have someone in your corner, even if they're someone that doesn't really need to go through the same journey as you, it can dramatically improve your success because they're going to be there to cheer you on, support you, hold you accountable. And heck, reach out to me. I will respond to you. You can literally message me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. I don't think YouTube lets you, but you can message me on any of these platforms. Don't message me on Threads if that's a thing. I know I post there, but I don't understand that platform very well. All right, but message me on Facebook. Message me on Instagram or TikTok. I will get back to you. It may not be the same day, and you might get a reply on Meta from their AI thing now first. So ignore that and just ask for me, and it'll get to me eventually. I really don't like that thing. I want to communicate with the people that reach out, but I will be there to support you, and I'll pray for you every day. You know, we're in this together. I believe that it takes a community to accomplish, you know, important things like achieving our health goals. You know, you don't have to go alone. You don't have to be alone. You're not on an island. The world sometimes makes us feel that way, but we're not. And I will be there to encourage you, but reach out to someone you know personally that loves you, that cares about you. And I bet they will be ready to help you. You just gotta let them. You gotta trust them with that. I know that's hard sometimes, but you know, give it a try. Reach out to me. I'll keep everything confidential unless you post it publicly. But I believe in you. I believe you can make a difference in your health. I don't think it's too late as long as you have air in your lungs. And I know what it's like to feel like you almost don't after fighting this pneumonia. But honestly, like, it's not too late. Be encouraged. I believe you can develop rock hard discipline. I believe you need to rise above motivation because motivation failed me, and it fails most people on its own. It's great to motivate, encourage, and inspire, but if you can't develop discipline, you're still going to likely fail because discipline shows up when everything else doesn't. Yeah. It's what keeps you going, and you need to develop that, and you need to have someone that will hold your hand to the fire on making sure that you're doing the right thing. Whether that's a group chat or whether that's someone you spend a lot of time with, or if it's your spouse or sibling or your best friend. But I encourage you to stop making excuses, do hard things, and be a savage. All right?
Love it. That's your slogan. Be a savage. Dude, that is so good. No, Anthony, thank you so much for joining us here at a 600 Pound Down podcast. Man, we're going to be putting your stuff in the show notes. You guys, if you're still listening, which I know you are, go follow this man, build his following, and get him out there to other people who need to hear his message as well. Support him by liking and commenting and following, and then his message can get out there even further to help people. And so that's what we do, right? That's what we do with our journeys. We just want people to see that transformation is possible. All right. We thank you so much for joining us, Anthony. We'll catch you all next time on the 600 Pound Down podcast.